Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our weekly style snack. Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, I go live and I share a style snack with you. If you're new to my community, welcome. We are so glad you're here, and I hope you will feel comfortable and confident to jump right in and participate and share. If you are not in my free Facebook group called Capsule Wardrobes for Classic Style, I would love to have you join. That's where we share outfits and inspiration. We talk more about classic style and capsule wardrobes, and it's a wonderful space. I have a kind community, a safe community, and we're all friends here. And it's a great place to step out of the chaos and craziness of the world. We're all friends, and sometimes you just need somewhere else to go. So I would love to have you join me there. Today, what I want to talk to you about is, when do you need to reinvent your style? This is a question I hear all the time, and it's also something that's talked about a lot. You've had the same style for 5 years. You need to reinvent your style. You need to change it. So there are basically 3 main reasons that I hear most about why we feel like we need to reinvent our style. And they all have to do with changes. They happen to all of us. Changes can be fun, but they can also turn us on our heads. I happen to hate change. I am about as flexible as a cracker when it comes to change, unless it was my idea, and then I'm all about it. But it still can be a little hard for me. But changes are a normal part of life, and they can be anything from getting a new job to becoming a mother or moving across country. And that can make you, those lifestyle changes can make you question everything about your identity, including your style. And then what about birthdays? That happens every year, whether we want it to or not. And there's something about entering a new decade that makes us feel that somehow what was perfectly acceptable to wear yesterday is completely forbidden today and forevermore. And we have to change everything about our style just because the clock struck midnight and we turned another year older. And on top of that, every season in the world of fashion, the council convenes and decides how to jerk the rug from under us, just as we're starting to stand on our own by changing the trends again. Sometimes the changes are subtle, sometimes they rock our world, but they all leave us feeling a little insecure. And honestly, that's the point. So let's talk about these 3 types of changes, how they affect us and our self-esteem, and whether or not we feel like we need to reinvent our style. As I'm talking, go ahead and leave me your comments and questions, and I'll answer those at the end. So first, let's talk about life changes. What is it about life changes that make us question our identity and style? Whether you're starting or changing or ending a career, becoming a new mother or an empty nester, getting married, getting divorced, moving across the country or just across the street, starting school, graduating, all of these things and more can turn your world upside down and make you question your identity. And when you question your identity, you question your style, because as we talked about some last week, your style is the outward representation of your identity. It is your billboard, and it's how you announce yourself to the world, because no one can see inside our heads, right? And even if you knew pretty well what your style was before this change, suddenly you don't know anything about your style. And whether your new lifestyle means new style needs, like going from a corporate world to a stay-at-home lifestyle, or something else has rocked your world, changing your style seems to be one of the first ways we try to gain control of what feels like a tailspin. It feels easy and achievable because you can buy it. right? And if you don't have a solid foundation on your personal style, it can confuse things even more. And the question comes up, everything is changing. Do I need to reinvent my style? Or I have all new style needs because of this new place in my life. And I knew what my style was when I dressed like this, but now I need to dress like this. So what's my style now? I don't know how to translate from here to here. So if you have ever gone through a life change like this and it has just made you question your identity and your style, I want to know about it. So for me, I've had a few of them, but a huge one was when I became a stay-at-home mom and I came from the corporate world. And I knew what I loved to wear in the corporate world. And I mean, honestly, it's my favorite kind of clothes. I didn't have any casual clothes. And I didn't know what that looked like for me. And so I also felt like I had to be a different person because I was a mom now, and that if I changed how I dressed, I could change who I was and become more acceptable, the right kind of mom. And that's a mistake. I'm just going to tell you now, it doesn't work and it backfires. And so I've gone through that. I've gone through this when we moved. That was, really hard, and that made me question everything all over again. So, I've had this experience. It happened when I graduated college. And I felt like I had to put on this new grown-up identity. And I mean, so it happens to all of us at various stages of our lives. And so I want to know when it happened to you, if you've experienced it and what your experience was. So do you need to reinvent your style with these life changes? And the answer is no. Not if you know what your style is. If your new lifestyle means you need to dress your wardrobe up or down, and it's the opposite of what it was, you may need different types of clothes. But when you know the core elements of your style, it doesn't change. It just apply it in a new way. The core elements of your style is the same. You're just applying it in a new way. And whether I'm dressed up or casual or wearing workout clothes or swimwear, the core elements of my style are the same, just showing up in the appropriate way for what I'm doing. My style is still always neutrals. I love neutrals, I do. And punched up with bold colors. Those are my favorite. Like my lips and my nails. It tells you everything you need to know about my favorite colors. And I'm minimal classic with a dose of edgy classic. If I had to enter the corporate world tomorrow or get a job as a yoga teacher, or if I took up volunteer work at a pet shelter, I would know how to translate my personal style preferences to the new lifestyle and wardrobe because I understand the core elements of my style. And that doesn't change just because the functionality of my clothes have changed. And so, yes, the clothes themselves will be different, but my style will still be the same. So, this is me. These are casual outfits that I've worn recently. And I didn't intentionally pick neutral outfits. That's just what I've really, I just love neutrals. I wear them a lot. And so you can see they're pretty minimal classic, but I've got these edgy details added to them here and there. And then I've got my bold lip color, and this is just my style. And this is how it looks when I'm casual. And then if I'm dressed up, it's still the same style. It just is applied differently. And so in this, I'm wearing more color, but I've still got my neutrals. I've got my bold red sheath dress with my neutral silver accessories. I've got my all black with the leather. And then I've got this bold blue with this icy gray duster, but still you've got that minimal classic with the edgy details in the color palette that I love. And these are some examples of how that shows up in my dressy. I don't have very much need for dress. This is Sunday. This is what I wear to church. So on Sundays, But if I were still in the corporate world, that's what I would wear. And then when I'm working out, these are just pictures I took to show some examples in the society of something I had. This was an unboxing, and we were talking about yoga clothes, workout clothes. And so these aren't like my better pictures, but this is still minimal classic. I'm wearing the colors I love, white and blue. I've got the details that I need. So even my yoga clothes, my swimsuits, they all have these same elements of the colors I love, the minimal classic that I love, the edgy details that I love, and they all reflect who I am no matter what I'm doing. And so understanding these details means that I can dress for anything. You could change my needs tomorrow and I would know what I was looking for. So what about when you turn another year older? Besides life changes, there are other forces at work in the world that can make you question your style. And number one is candles, but not just any candles. I'm talking about the ones on your birthday cake. They multiply like tribbles, and they come with a big fat dose of, what do I wear now? Now that I'm turning 40, now what? What do I wear? Raise your hand if you are a Star Trek fan. I was raised a Trekkie. I still love Star Trek. And if you don't know what a tribble is, that's a tribble. They multiply faster than rabbits. And that's what your doubts do. When you turn a certain age, suddenly you feel like you can't be you anymore. You can't wear what you love. And why have we let society convince us that just because we've gotten another year older, just because our age now ends in a 0, that we have to change who we are and how we dress and what we like and pretend to be somebody else? There's a pervasive lie out there that says you have to change yourself and your wardrobe after you have been taking breaths on this planet for a certain number of years. And there's something very specific about turning 40, 50, 60 that has this magical effect of erasing our identities and replacing them with what we think society says we should be. And there's an entire industry out there for how to dress women over 40 because we have been convinced that there is a line in the sand. And now that we've had this birthday, we must change in order to be acceptable. And I just don't agree. I just don't agree. I'm 44 and I still wear what I love. I'll still wear what I love when I'm 64 or 84. And I will not allow someone else to tell me that just because I've had a birthday, I have to be someone else. I have to dress like something else. And there is no magical transformation. I didn't stop being who I am when I turned 40. And changing the way I dress won't make me become someone else. And remember, I've tried that. It didn't work. And I shouldn't have to. I'm still me. I still love the same things. And I feel most comfortable and confident in my skin when I dress in an authentic way. And again, those same preferences, I've had them really my whole life. My favorite top when I was 7 years old, it was a white t-shirt with diagonal blue stripes, and they just covered this side of me. They went this way, and I loved it. I still love white. Blue is still my favorite color. I buy striped shirts like it's my job, and I adore asymmetry in that diagonal, and I wear all of those same elements today. In 7th grade, I had a pair of black patent snakeskin flats, and I adored them. I loved them. And I still love black, shiny, and snakeskin. Now, how I wore those elements at those different ages will look different than I wear them now because I'm not wearing Garanimals anymore, right? I'm not 7. And I'm not in middle school in 7th grade anymore. And those shoes had a little bit of an almondy toe. Today, I would only wear them if they were pointed toed. But the elements haven't changed, right? I still love those elements. How I wear them today looks a little different and more mature, as in not a child, than they did when I was a child. But the core elements are still there. What I love hasn't changed. And so the last thing that makes us question our identity and style is something I call subtle sabotage. Style has been one of the constantly changing things throughout the centuries, and it happened in every culture around the world. And it dictates whether you are in or out, whether you're in or out of style, in or out of the club, in or out of the peer group. It is the line between acceptable and unacceptable. But why? And the fashion industry should be about making us look and feel our best, our most beautiful, comfortable, functional, and it's actually about making us feel like we're behind, we're wrong, and we're out. When you're confident in your style and the clothes in your closet, you don't buy new ones unless the old ones wear out or you see something new that you love that suits your style. And that's not profitable for the fashion industry. You being content in your skin and your style and your wardrobe is not making them any money. They need you to buy more new clothes every season. We laugh at the women who suffered through corsets and stays that restricted their breathing and required another human being to bind them so tight that they might pass out. Women fainted all the time because they couldn't draw a full breath. It changed their structure of their bones and their ribs as they grew. I mean, look at this. How can you? But they did it because that was what was acceptable. That made you acceptable. And, we laugh about that and think, oh my word, how could you do that? Or think about the women of King Louis XV's court in France. They wore heels that were so high, it required them to either walk with a cane, like these two women here, so they wouldn't fall down, or they would have servants support them at their elbows so they could walk around. They couldn't even walk around on their own because they were following the fashions and the style dictates of the day. And then when they wore those enormous wigs and headpieces, sometimes they had a servant walk behind them and hold up their hair because it was too heavy for them to keep their heads upright and too heavy for it to stay on. I mean, we look back and we think that is absolutely absurd. Why would they do that? And yet we do the same thing. I've done it. I've done it. I have, we have about 15 years ago, 20 years ago, low cut jeans that were so low and so tight that you could see people's underwear. I didn't have my underwear hanging out, but I did wear really low cut jeans. And even celebrities fell prey to it. I mean, this is J-Lo, and she is an icon, and she walked around with her underwear hanging out. I wonder if she looks back at that picture and just dies a little inside, wishes she could erase that from the internet. But it was everyone. Everybody did it. That was just what was out there. That was all that was out there. And not only that, these jeans were so low and so tight and squeezed in the worst places that if you wore them, you had a muffin top because they were too small. There were weight loss ads out there. How to lose your muffin top. If you want to lose your muffin top, wear pants that fit you. There you go. No no dieting required. When we all do it. We still do. In fact, I will tell you something that is just really kind of embarrassing. So I have small feet, and I've learned that when you have small feet, I can't wear as high heels as women with average size feet can wear, because the smaller it is, the steeper the pitch. Um, and I'm literally on the balls of my feet falling forward. I cannot wear 4-inch heels. I can't. I can't. I can stand in them, but I cannot walk in them. And there was a pair of shoes that I have just admired forever. And I wanted them so bad because they're so I love shoes. This is recent. I actually looked up, like, maybe I just don't know how to walk in heels very well. Obviously, other women can wear shoes this tall and they don't have any trouble. I actually looked up if there were lessons on how to walk in high heels so that I could wear a pair of shoes. I mean, I'm not immune to this. and I caught myself and I was like, oh my word, if I need lessons to wear these shoes, these are not the shoes for me. That is not functional in my personal life. I'm not saying other women can't do it. You can wear as high of heels as you want to, but that just doesn't work for my life. I have 6 kids. I have a dog. I can't be hindered by my footwear. And if I need lessons to go out and wear these shoes, time to rethink. And so we all do it. And why does the fashion industry undermine us in this way while claiming to support us? Because it's how they make money. They want us to spend, 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 and we only do that when we're dissatisfied. And the only way to make us dissatisfied is to change what is in and out every season. So each season, when the changes happen, whether they're big or small, an inner voice whispers, oh no, I was almost in and now I'm out again. Do I need to reinvent my style? And the answer is, it's still no. It's time for some style self-esteem. Last week, we talked about the fashion rules. And if you missed that, I'll link to it and you can watch that. And we talked about how to make your own fashion rules. And once you know your own fashion rules and you know what you truly love to wear, what makes you look and feel your best, what you feel confident and comfortable in, you can see these changes for what they are. Marketing. You might love the new changes, and that's okay. It could be a much needed shift in style that relieves a little boredom, that introduces you to something you never knew you would love. It might be bringing back an old favorite. It might be eliminating something you hated, but wore anyway because that was the trend. And so it's okay to like the new trends and to adopt them and wear them if they suit you and your preferences and they make you look and feel amazing. And it's also okay to hate the changes and to give yourself permission to easily ignore them and move forward confident in your own style and your own style rules. And not only do your own style rules define what you do and don't love, they give you the permission to wear it confidently. And that makes all the difference. How do style leaders convince us to turn our closets upside down every 3 months? By declaring it confidently and loudly, and that makes us believe them. And when you wear your style rules confidently, everyone around you will accept them and accept you as you are, just as you are, perfectly you. And when you are in with yourself, you are never out with anyone else. And if you are, who cares? They're not your people. They just aren't. It's something I say to my kids and I say to myself, and I'm saying it to you, and I'm not the first person to say it, but I hope that me repeating it helps someone out there. But I want, my goal is to help you love what you wear, know what you love to wear, and have the confidence to wear it. And it's okay for you to love one thing and for her to hate the same thing, because you're totally different people. And then we can each look at each other and say, that is so you. It's not me, and that's okay, but it is so you, and that's awesome. And so if you want help finding your confidence, if you're tired of asking yourself, do I need to reinvent my style? I have a free masterclass to get you started with figuring out what you do and don't like. It's called the 5 Steps to Find the Right Clothes for You. It comes with a free workbook that you can download, and it will take you through those 5 steps at your own pace so that you can go into your own closet and apply what we've talked about. And once you know your style, it is so easy to define what you love and don't. When you can see why you do and don't wear and love and don't love certain things, you can write your own style rules and give yourself permission to follow them. You can see these new trends and say, okay, I like that. I'm going to try that. Or I might like that. I'll try it and see. And if I don't like it, I'm confident enough to say that doesn't work for me, or that is an absolute no. I already know that's a no. We don't have to go there. And it is so liberating. That's what I can tell you. And I want it for you. I have finally arrived in that place where I know the elements of my style. I know what I do and don't love. And I wear it unapologetically. I wear it confidently, and I don't have to reinvent my style ever again because I know what it looks like. I can adapt it as I see fit, but the core of it has never changed. So if you'd like to take that free masterclass, we'll leave the link here. And I've just gotten so much feedback about how helpful it's been, and I hope it helps you as well. So I hope this was helpful. Sometimes there are things that are out there, they're pervasive, they're in our heads, and we don't even realize how much it's in our heads until someone shines a light on it. And we all can recognize it for what it is. And I hope this helped someone, one of you, many of you, some of you, to give yourself permission to be yourself and wear what you love. So I'll take a look at the comments and questions. I see a lot of people saying hi. Rachel, can't wait. Annette is here. Marty is here. Hello. Barbara is here. Marcy says hi. Hello. Suzanne says hello. Samantha remembered to hop on with us this week. I'm so glad, Samantha, you could join us live. Kathy says hi. Rachel says she loves neutrals too. She always has. And that's okay. And someone else who loves a lot of color, like my sister-in-law loves color, and it's great on her. It's perfect for her. I can't wear that much color most of the time. Every now and then, yeah, but I love neutrals, and that's okay too. Whatever, it suits me. Suzanne says, my viewpoint is this is me, like it or not. Is this a confident or arrogant attitude? Suzanne, that's a fine line sometimes. I think it's in your case, I would say it's confidence because you're just a very sweet person. But I think it can lean into arrogance if you're hurting people. If this is me is hurtful to other people, then you can be you and be kind. But that's not, Suzanne, that's not your problem. So Rachel loves tribbles. I know. I love tribbles. Yeah. Star Trek is great. My kids are Trekkies now too. It's fun that they love it too. Alessandra is a Trekkie. Thanks, Mom. My mom was the one who loves Star Trek too. That's why we watched it. Michelle says she turned 60 yesterday. Well, happy birthday, Michelle. Happy 60th birthday. And I hope that you are entering your 60s knowing that who you are is perfect. Michelle says, since taking the modules, I feel better about who I see in the mirror every day. Michelle, that makes me so happy. That's all I want for you. Rachel says, that's what I'm struggling with a bit. Dressing with elements to look like a 30-year-old versus a teenager. I already look young. I don't want to dress to look young too. I understand. When I was 30, I was still being mistaken for, I got married when I was 27, and these women they didn't know me. They heard me talk about being married, And they said, "Oh, honey, you are way too young to have just gotten married." And I was like, I'm 27 years old. I think I'm old enough to make a choice like that. And they thought I was 18. And I don't look 18 anymore, but even when I was 30, yeah. So I get it. And you can still wear the elements that you love in a way that suits you now and not look like you're in high school. So, yeah. A Facebook user says, great attitude and presentation skills, a conversation rather than a lecture style. Well, thank you. I wish I could see your name. It just says Facebook user. But yeah, I don't want to lecture anybody. I'm here to share ideas, and I love to hear your ideas in return. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Alessandra says, thank you for saying we don't have to change when the number of candles change. I'm approaching 40 and was wondering if I have to flip a switch. I want to stay in what makes me feel comfortable. Alessandra, you're welcome. And you are not alone. I would say the majority of women who turn 40 or 50 or 60, even 30, have that same question mark. I get that question a lot. I've heard my friends talk about it. And like I said, there's this whole industry catering to women over 40 and their style, as though that's different than it was when they were 39. So continue to wear what you love. Heidi says, my favorite look is trim dark jeans and a well-fitted tank top with sequins. This shows my well-toned arms and bod at 73. Ooh, Heidi, that's awesome. I admire well-toned arms, like Michelle Obama's arms. I've always looked at her as just like, oh, wow, you're so strong. I want arms like that. So good for you. Good for you for having arms like that at any age, but even more at 73. Suzanne says, I haven't ever been considered normal due to my disabilities. I have always adapted to make things work for me and my needs. I do the same with my personal style. Suzanne, I love your attitude about that. There is no such thing as normal. And I think that's something that society is finally working toward, that we are all so different. Normal is fiction. I understand you have your own version of normal, and I love that you adapt things to make them work for you and your needs and your style in just every part of your life. That's such a great example. Stacy says, I remember the low-cut jeans and hated them. Oh, I know. And I'm super short-waisted, so they weren't as low on me as they would have been on someone with a longer torso, and they were too low for me. I hated them. Diane says, what about mowing the lawn clothes and painting the walls clothes? Do you still concentrate on your style? I have a set of very unstylish clothes to wear for severe physical work. Should I be more mindful of my style during my work times? I hate to get my good clothes messed up with grass stains or permanent paint. Then again, I don't want to look like a slob. Okay, so that's a totally different situation, Diane. I would never wear my nice clothes to paint, and I've painted my entire house. I have my paint clothes. It's I have a pair of cutoff sweatpants and a Hanes t-shirt I wear to paint in, and I have a pair of old jeans that I paint in. So no, I mean, the shorts are black and the pants are white. I mean, the shorts are black and the t-shirt is white, or it was white before I had paint all over it, but I'm not worried about, they're old clothes of mine. So I guess to some degree that they still show that. And then when I'm working in the yard, I wear jeans because I'm getting down I get scraped up and bruised on my legs if I don't wear jeans. So even when it's hot, I wear jeans to protect my legs. But I have a couple of t-shirts that I have a Wonder Woman t-shirt, a red t-shirt with Wonder Woman on it that I like to wear when I do yard work. It makes me feel powerful and strong because I'm lifting heavy stuff. But it's not one of my good shirts. You know what I mean? Or I'll wear t-shirts that I bought when I travel. But, when you're working, I still put on my lipstick and I, put on some mascara or whatever. That makes me feel better. I comb my hair and put it in a ponytail or whatever. But no, I mean, that's like, wear whatever you want. You're there to do a job. And that's not what you do every day, all day, right? So I would never wear my nice clothes to do that. No. Rachel says, how do you lose your muffin top? Wear jeans that fit. Exactly. That is exactly how you lose your muffin top. Wear pants that fit. Suzanne says, I dress in a way that makes me happy. I love that. I do too. Jay Myers says, I love it. If you want to lose your muffin top, wear jeans that fit. There you go. Yeah, it's true. Now you know the secret. Amy says, I've done that too. I'm assuming you've worn, you're referencing wearing things that, they're crazy. Another Facebook user says, hi, I love your style tips. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I wish I could see your name. There's a link up at the top in the intro that if you click it, I can see your name. And otherwise, it just shows me Facebook user. Annette says, style self-esteem. I love it. Well, good. I hope we can all get a big fat dose of it because we deserve it. Diane says, wow, I was taught not to get dirty or wreck my clothing. I need to just relax a little here. Well, Diane, I take very good care of my clothes and things, but I have specific clothes for those specific tasks. And I mean, I have clothes, like if we're doing heavy cleaning in the house or rearranging furniture or cleaning out the storage room, pulling out the Christmas tree, I have clothes that I like, but they're not delicate, and if they get dirty or whatever, they can just go in the wash. They're not likely to snag. Or, when my kids were really little, if I was taking care of sick kids, I still got dressed, but I would wear something I could get thrown up on, right? Or snotted on, or easily helping my kids. So I would wear a flannel button up and some jeans. And I have been thrown up on, and I just take it off and I dump it in the wash and I get out another flannel and jeans, whether it's a flannel I like in colors that I like, but it's washable and I'm not really in danger of ruining it. So this is a different topic I've talked about in other days, but we have tiers in our closet, right? You have yard work clothes all the way up to attending a wedding clothes and everything in between. And so it's just a matter of choosing the right tier of clothing so that you can feel good in it, but you're not worried about it. Peggy says, when my daughter was 12 and a half, I turned 40. We shared a black and white polka dot pencil skirt. She wore it with flats and a cute blouse, and I wore a white linen blazer and heels. It was something I would have worn when I was 12 too. I'm 69 and have not changed my style since I was very little. Peggy, that is such an excellent example of how you can take the exact same item and wear it differently at two very different ages. What a 12-year-old wears and what a 40-year-old wears tend to be pretty different. Although I've always kind of dressed like I was 40, for being totally honest. But that is such an excellent example. Thank you for sharing that. Leslie is here. Suzanne says, I'm so thrilled because I organized all of my scarves and placed them on hangers in my closet. Amen. Ooh, I love doing stuff like that. I bet that feels so good. Leslie says, having that confidence to say, no, that's not for me is so freeing. Sorry, I don't know why the flags got posted. Oh, that's okay. I just thought you were saying hi. Yes, it is okay to say, no, that's not for me. Pants so low that you can see my underwear is not for me. And back then, I didn't know I had any other choice. These are just the pants that are out there. And so I'm just going to wear as long of a top as possible to cover as much as possible. So Sandra says, live long and prosper. Live long and prosper, my friend. Rachel says, I love that you asked if people say you're picky. Then you said, good, you should be. They are your clothes. I applied that yesterday when shopping. My mom looked at me like I was crazy because I didn't buy something for one tiny detail, but I knew I wouldn't wear it. The masterclass was so helpful. Oh, Rachel, I love hearing this. Yes. You can be as picky as you want about your clothes. They're your clothes. They're going on your body and you're spending your money on them. You can be as picky as you want. So I am so glad that you did that. And I'm sure your mom meant well, but that you could just be like, no, yeah, you can think I'm crazy, but I don't like that. I'm not going to buy it because I don't love it. So yay. And if you haven't taken the free masterclass, that's what Rachel is talking about. And the link is in the comments. You can also go to stunningstyle.com/masterclass to register for that. Amy says, I'm 56 and don't want to look like my daughter at 30. Well, you and your daughter may not have the same style. And I don't know what your daughter dresses like. I don't know what you dress like, but there is nothing wrong with you being 56. And there's nothing about you being 56 that means that you cannot wear something if you love it. You are still you. And you should wear whatever you feel good in. And so if what your daughter wears is something you don't feel good in, then definitely don't wear it. I would guess it's because it's not your style, and that it doesn't have to do with your age difference. But yeah, wear what you love, what makes you feel confident and comfortable, but don't discard something just because of your age and someone said you shouldn't do that. If you say you shouldn't do it and you agree with it, then follow that. That is your style rule, and you get to decide on that. Amy says, however, I don't want to look frumpy. And why do they think we need to look frumpy when we get older? Yeah, you don't need to look frumpy. 56 does not equal frumpy. Carol says, me too. Amy says, I've watched videos that teach how to walk in high heels. Oh, I have too, because yeah, there's some skill in it, and there are things you can do to make it more comfortable. This was like an actual course. Like, we're talking hundreds of dollars, video coaching, one-on-one coaching, hundreds of dollars to wear shoes that don't suit my lifestyle anyway. They're too high for me to walk in unassisted and not fall down and break my neck. Like, for me, that's where I draw the line. That might work. Like, if you're like, you might have a job or whatever that you need to be able to do that, or maybe you just love them that much, it's worth it to you. But I decided, no, that's going too far. Those shoes I'm just gonna have to admire them from a distance, because I'm not spending hundreds of dollars to learn how to walk in these shoes. So I'm just going to buy different shoes. But yeah, so I watch those videos too, and they're helpful, but the other one was just too far for me. Jay Myers says, over time, as you wear your style and clothes get worn out, even your old clothes will still reflect your style. Yes, they will. And I have items in my closet that I've had for 10, 15, 20 years that I still wear, and you would never know how long ago I bought them. And if it's truly your style, then it's always in style, So yeah, I totally agree. Okay, so those are all the comments and questions I see. I love the conversation that we're having about this. I hope this inspired you to take a new look at the changes in your life that have made you question your style and identity, and give them another look and reevaluate your own style rules. And I hope you'll watch this masterclass. I think you'll really love it. You will walk away with some very concrete 5 really helpful tips and exercises to help you find the right clothes for you. And you can sign up for that at stunningstyle.com/masterclass. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I always enjoy this midweek break with you. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And I love these conversations that we have and that we share ideas this way. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you soon.